Hey! You can talk now.
Oh yeah, thanks. I couldn't hear the music, so I didn't know when it finished.
Oh yeah, you won't hear anything. But thank you very much for agreeing to do this. Very kind.
No, thank you for having me.
You are,
and I mean that. I mean that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm honoured to have you. Are you honoured to have me?
I am. I don't know. This is like the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. Yeah. We're both effing delighted that this is happening.
Immovable object.
Oh, I think I might be at the moment. I just had a vegan Rocky Road, and it was far too much.
What do you do, Ash?
I mean, anything.
I've seen. Actually, I watched a digitizer video of you earlier. I went back and checked a few of them out. The older stuff. I can't remember what it was. I'm a stand-up comedian. Is what and stand-up comedian, podcaster, lollygagger, layabout, and a streamer now.
And a streamer. But I think that's going to be my main thing. I think that's how it works, isn't it? You start and then it's like a runaway train, and soon it's all going to be incredible.
I said to Mum, I'm going to be a professional streamer, and then I became a professional streamer.
Yeah, there you go.
I made a fortune.
Yeah, that's how it's going. I haven't checked my bank account yet, but I imagine it's millions, is it?
Probably. Well, I mean, you start off about half. You got to give it time. You know, it's a marathon.
I think I've got nearly 200 followers. I think I'm probably up there with one of the most successful.
Do you know how long it took me to get 200 followers?
No.
Probably a year.
Oh really? Oh, yeah. But I've cheated because me and Ashens have been going through I can swear, can't I?
Yeah, of course you can.
We've been going through a fucking catalogue for like a year and a half. I don't know if you've seen any of those.
I have been watching them, yeah.
Last week we did 3 pages of a Sears catalogue, and we were on for 3.5 hours.
We was on the glowworms for about an hour and a half, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. And I've taken that into, I heard you speaking a minute ago, I've taken that into the Polybridge streaming, because yesterday I streamed for an hour and a half on the same bridge, and I couldn't get by. I just couldn't do it. It's
a good game, Polybridge. But you understand what I'm saying when they're boring games, but you make the stream.
Yeah, no, that's the whole idea.
Don't you? You have to talk to the viewers. You can't just be ninja and just sit there and...
No, and because I need the viewer as well, because it's really a collective thing. Like you joined in yesterday.
Yeah.
I can't see how it's going to work. A lot of the time I'm like, yesterday I got a little bit genuinely upset with my own stupidity and my inability to work out how that bridge was going to work. But then we come together as a team. Yeah. But I keep saying this on my stream. The reason I've come over to Twitch is that I've got a good idea for something that's going to come soon. And a mate of mine has developed like a piece of software for the stream that I'm going to do. That's going to be great. And I've sort of hinted at it before. But what it is, on Bartians before, I did a random film generator. I've done it on stage before, where it's like I took the 100 top films, action films, and I broke them down into their individual words, and then I put them into a word randomizer, and then just randomly made films. So the first one I ever did on stage got the ass from Kick-Ass and blood from First Blood, and brought up ass blood on stage. It was the first thing that it ever did. So that's
what
I'm
did that
on
stage then?
Yeah, it did it at Richard Sandling's Perfect Movie, which is a great comedy show. Yeah. And I'm going to be doing that, and I think it's going to be a guest, and there's an actual piece of software that's going to do all that randomising for me, and it should be great.
That's what we need. We need more comedy, more diversity, more interaction and stuff.
Can't help with diversity, unfortunately, because
well, that's a new thing.
I'd get into so much trouble.
But you know what I mean? Like this was for gaming. It's not anymore. It's not. No. It shouldn't be. Should we find out what your top 10 is? Speaking of comedy.
I've got this thing. I was just eating dinner with my wife, and I sat back and went, no, and I've forgotten. Probably. Don't tell I'm not going to tell them. I think I've forgotten.
You can't have forgotten. You've got to talk about it for an hour.
No. I think I've forgotten. I'm going to say it's my 11th favourite to get out of the fact I think I've forgotten my actual favourite thing in this list. I was like,
I can give you a hint somehow. Do you want me to?
No, that's fine. Let's do this. There's no point giving me a hint. I'm pretty confident I didn't remember what could be my actual favourite thing.
Right. You're right. It will come to you. Right, everybody, this is...
No, I mean, I forgot to tell you. I'm sorry. Oh. I've excluded it from my list.
There was 10. There was 10 on the list.
No, but I've got... What I'm saying is, I thought of one that should have been on the list that isn't.
Well, Ashen's adds extra ones. So
okay.
Yeah, you can add extra. He had an extra bloody 20 or something, I think. He loves to hear his own voice, doesn't he?
He's a cheeky boy, isn't he? He doesn't seem like he is, but he is cheeky.
Right, everybody, this is Ash's Top 10.
Top 10 lists.
Top 10 lists.
My top 10 lists.
Top 10 lists of lists. Top 10 lists of lists.
Absolutely. It just came to me. It was obvious when you sort of said, did I want to do it? This just seemed the obvious choice.
That's what people are saying, meta. You've given new depth to this show.
I hope so. I like, if ever I'm a guest on something, I like to, I want to be breaking the format.
Yeah. Ashton says, you can do your own bloody photos next time. Well, that was very kind of you, Stuart. Thank you. I mean, Ash did send me photographs, but I got better ones.
Oh, did you? Have you excluded? Well, I mean, I'm pleased because I did mine in bed in a panic when I realised I'd said I'll send you photos. It was like 1 a.m, woke up in a cold sweat. It was like, I didn't send any photos. So.
Right, should we start with your... Do you remember what your number 10 is?
I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's going to matter. I'll see it and it'll be fine.
Right.
Yes, is the answer. Yes, I do remember, yes.
Right, here is Ash's number 10 favourite list.
Number 10.
Laundry
list. There it goes. A lovely bit of business from you there on the picture. That's great.
Yeah, well, I looked up laundry list. That was all I could find. Really old laundry lists. Like people don't do it anymore.
Yeah. If the first thing that come to me was laundry list, and that's a thing, isn't it? That is a word. That's a thing. A laundry list. Yeah. And it wasn't until I thought about it and I thought, what the bloody hell's a laundry list?
It's colours. It's whites. That's it.
Yeah. Was it more? Like, can we see on that picture? Was it once specific thing?
I can't read that.
Can I see
it's got ladies and gentlemen's like they do their clothes separately.
Yeah. Oh, you do have to wash women and men's clothes separately. You do oh my goodness, you've not been washing them together, have you?
Well, no, I've been single for 5 months. Thanks, Ash. But before I used to chuck everything. Yeah. Plus
no, you mustn't do that because they'll merge.
What do you mean?
That's how children's clothing comes about. Unexpected children. You get a pair of men's jeans and a pair of women's jeans, you're getting baby jeans.
Really? What's the? Is there science behind this?
Yeah, I think so. I think they mate. I've got a teenage boy, and something's going on because I think he's got some of the sexiest clothes because his socks are always just covered in nice. Sorry, that's been disgusting. I'm so sorry.
I mean, you could swear, Ash.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say that sort of stuff. And he might be watching, and his friends might be watching. I can only apologise. No, I do the laundry in this house and every house that I've lived in, actually. And there is no better feeling than working through the laundry. Like I've got a 14-year-old boy and a 3-year-old daughter and a 35-year-old wife or something. I don't know how old she is. Doesn't matter. And so there's a lot of clothes. My son will wear something, it seems, for like an hour, and then it'll be just in a pile on his floor.
How old's your son? Is he old enough to do his own washing?
Yeah, he's 14. He's old enough to do everything, but he doesn't.
He should do his own.
Yeah, he should be doing his own. But yeah, there's piles of it, and I love getting through the laundry. I genuinely do.
But this time of year, it's a real pain in the arse. Getting things dry.
I've been anti-tumble dryer my entire life.
Waste of electricity, isn't it?
My wife, yeah, but I mean my wife is she's the big waste of electricity. Like she goes around going. She said the other day it's like Blackpool Illuminations in here, and I was like, "What's happened to you? Like where has the spark gone out of our relationship that you're saying?"
To Blackpool?
No, exactly. Yeah. But we've covered the house in Christmas lights this year, so I don't understand why that's fine. So I've always not had the tumble dryer, but we moved into this house and there was space for one, so we stuck one in. But it ruins all my clothes. Everything shrinks.
I think
but we bought an electric clothes horse. Is that the word?
Yeah, I've got a manual one. What's an electric one?
It drives around. Yeah, it heats up.
Does it?
And so it heats up, and then you put a plastic sheath over the top of it, and it dries the clothes. But it was rubbish. It just dried. It dried. It dried lines across your clothes. Essentially, is all it did. It just dried neat lines across them. So we got rid of it, and we've got. I will go. So clothes out the washing machine. Tumbleable clothes, except for mine, go in the tumble dryer.
Is that anything but jumpers?
No. Well, if it says that can be tumbled, it's in there unless it belongs to me.
I've never read a tag in my life.
Oh, I spent quite a lot of my life tagging. Then the next wave goes on the radiator in the dining room / kitchen / we've got like a little playroom thing, and so that is clothes on there. Then we've got wire rack, which have 4 rungs on them, and they hang on the radiator.
Yeah.
So 4 more items can go on there, and then the clothes horse gets loaded with the rest.
What if you buy more clothes?
We must not. We've got a baby coming next week, and I've seen the number of clothes. Like just because they're constantly shitting themselves, aren't they? Babies. Yeah. They won't stop doing it for years. It seems
those nappies never hold it in. Doesn't matter how good the fit is. Always comes through the.
Yes, and just stuff like that brown that's ingrained in the things for years.
Do you get to the point where you just smell it, and if it doesn't smell of anything, that's fine?
Yeah, I do that now. I don't know what you're like at home. Why would I? But I take off my clothes. My side of the bed is the side away from the wardrobe. So I will often take off my clothes, fold them into a neat pile, pop them by the side of my bed, and then repeat that process for the week. And then so I've got this massive pile of like clothing that is in various levels of cleanliness. Yeah. And then so on a Sunday I then have to basically put all those clothes away, or in the washing, or I don't know what the third option was.
Why is it that you do the washing? You don't trust your partner to do it?
It's so lazy. No, it's just one of my jobs around the house. I do the washing and the washing up, and she earns double what I earn, so that's what she does.
Kept man, yeah.
She just sits there like this. She cooks dinner, she feeds the fish, she keeps our children alive.
The fish. What are you feeding these fish? Flakes? Bloodworms?
No.
I'm assuming it's something that takes more effort than that.
No, it's not. It is this. She's like Salt Bae, but for fish. And she's not a twat.
Well, you had far more to say about laundry lists than I expected, Ash.
Oh, I'm so sorry. This might be the longest one
we've
done.
As long as you want to go on. I don't want to rush you or anything. It's just.
Shall we do an all-nighter?
Well, I'm very happy when I've got a guest who can talk shit.
I'm so sorry. Oh, I will talk shit.
Should we see what your number 9 is?
I can't
remember anymore. But,
I look forward to it.
This is Ash's number 9. You got a Stream Deck, haven't you, Ash?
I have. Yeah. You
need to figure out how to use it.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's a brilliant thing if you can get it to work. Right, this is Ash's number 9.
Some more days.
Shopping.
Yeah, so I am not allowed to do the shopping.
Are you not?
Because I can't be trusted. Essentially, I can't go into the shop. Everything's done online now. But do you have this thing? Do you have the multi-shop shopping?
No. What's that?
So the big shop we do via. We like to go independent, so we do it for this little company called Tesco. They're lovely guys, and I think it's named. I think the guy even named it after his little wife, his poor little wife. I think it was Tessa Cohen.
Really?
I think that's actually true. Yeah. And we go do the big shop there. So we've got one of those smart speakers. So we just wander around the house, and as soon as something runs out, the idea is you tell the smart speaker, and you say, add it to my shopping list. Yeah. So it builds up a shopping list, and then on Sunday, my wife then does it all on her phone, orders the shopping. You know it works. Yeah, I'm not saying I don't need to teach you.
There's nowhere that bloody delivers around here, but yeah, I used to do it. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying. And then there's another list, which is the Aldi list.
Oh god, I want Aldi to deliver. I like Aldi.
This is our continental shopping that we do. It's, I think they're German.
Fancy.
Yeah, and so that is done in person by me on a Thursday. So that'll be your fruits, your veggies, your
strange meats.
Well, I'm vegan, so I will not buy that. I will let the house suffer on my morals there. It's like, you buy your own meats if you want meats. But I can't be trusted, because if I go into a Tesco, I will buy a book for my daughter. I will buy some crappy, like you can see on the shelves behind me, like if I see something for my son that I think he thinks is great, I will just pick up and I'll buy it.
Yeah.
I'll buy a book for my daughter. I'll buy a centre aisle at Aldi. Like, I will do that 3 times, having a look for do I need an electric screwdriver?
I think it's about 2 aisles now, isn't it?
Yeah, there is
half of another bit as well.
And it's not that cheap. Like, they had a Spider-Man teddy in there the other day, and I was like, oh, a Spider-Man teddy in the old centre aisle. It was like £9. Like, that's not the idea of this centre aisle.
But I will stop you. I did buy this for my daughter, and I thought she'd absolutely love this because she's got chocolates all over the place. My ex owns a sweet shop, so I bought her this.
Oh, wow.
From Aldi Middle Advent calendar, but it's got books in it.
We got the Disney Princess one, exactly that.
And she was so disappointed.
We
get to keep these, and then I bought her a cheap one just to make up for it.
That's exactly what we did. We went Peppa Pig on the cheap chocolate one. She loves a bit of Peppa Pig. But your daughter's 4, did you say?
Yeah.
So she knows about the spirit of Christmas now, doesn't she? She's fully aware of it.
She knows about Santa Claus as well. She did tell me today that she met Santa Claus today.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Was he in the house?
Well,
Did he crept in?
She went to a place and he's got like a big plastic booth around him. And I said it was like Silence of the Lambs. Ho ho ho, Clarice! He just said, tap it on the window.
My daughter is like, my son was really matter of fact. Like, he didn't believe in Santa. I am a terrible human being. Like, I cannot lie to my children. I can't lie, but I cannot lie to my children, even about things that are universally accepted to be the right thing to do. I cannot big up Santa. I will not tell them about the Tooth Fairy. The Easter Bunny does not exist. I will not entertain God. I just can't. I really find it so difficult to go, oh, Santa's coming. And I won't speak about my previous relationship, but some people will use Christmas as a tool to try and get children to behave. And like I say, I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. It's awful. It's awful. When it's like, well, it looks like you're going to go on the naughty list.
Yeah.
It's like,
Santa's always listening, I say. And she's like, what now? I went, yeah. Ask him a question. Well, then you get no reply. But she I've got a small bike, and we saw a film, and the kid got a bike and said, "Would you like a bike for Christmas?" She went, "Yeah, I'm getting one because I put it on my list." I went, "You don't get everything that's on your list." I said, "But if you really want it, ask Santa now." And then she just spoke into the darkness of the night. "Santa, I'd like a bike." Would it be terrifying if a reply came?
It's too expensive for Daddy to do that. But yeah, she's really matter of fact, and I think she's cynical. I think she doesn't necessarily believe anyway, so that's good.
Is that because of you, though?
Yeah. I'm awful. I know it's bad. But at dinner the other day, she told my wife to chill out. And she's 3. Oh, chill out, mummy.
This bloody generation. God,
yeah.
no respect.
I am on her side. But yeah, I never did it with my son. I think I'm a bad person, but yeah, I never lied at all about it.
What about your partner? Did your partner say?
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, but we just tell her we'll take her to see Santa, and this is Santa, and Santa's doing this." And I was like, "So what? It doesn't make any sense."
Yeah,
like,
can you just not say anything?
Yeah, that's the thing. I've got to really learn to shut up. When we go somewhere as well, and it's crap. You know, when you go, we're going to go to that thing, it's the Christmas fete in the local park. You know what I mean? The fair, Christmas fair. And you go there and it's crap. And the kid still thinks it's brilliant, even though there's like rusty spikes at eye level and it's like, it's £8 to go on a teacup ride that's got some tinsel on it. I find it really difficult not to be walking around going, this is shit. Like, I just ruin it for everyone constantly.
God, I've trained myself not to do that now.
I'm really trying. And like I said, we've got one on the way, and so this is a real opportunity, a third spin of the wheel for me not to just make them think I'm miserable. And they've got it. My son is so cynical, and you know.
Did he get it from you?
Yeah, he does. He totally does. Yeah, and I've forced it on them, and I'm aware of that. But maybe this one, it'll be a little joy, a little sprig of joy, and he'll just believe in everything, and it'll be amazing. But I doubt it.
We went to one of those Christmas fairs a couple of weeks ago, and they had a Ferris wheel. It's at Rochester Castle. You ever seen Rochester? Been anywhere near Rochester?
I've gigged in Rochester, but I don't know where it is.
But this Ferris wheel was teetering on the edge. So, you know, if it wobbled, it would go into the Medway River. And my daughter's a rickety thing, you know, and they're just little swiggy chairs. My daughter loved it. I was so fucking scared.
Have you seen that video of the ride that starts moving?
No.
And then so people have run and grab onto it, like loads of blokes just run and jump on the side of it to stop it toppling over. It's mad. You're just letting some bloke set up this thing in a field and expecting it to be okay.
And the guy was smoking weed, because every time we went round, we went through a cloud of weed. No wonder my daughter was loving it by the fourth rotation. She was like, swing the chair. I'm like, no, we're not swinging the fucking chair.
She's constantly eating popcorn or something.
I'm really hungry, Dad, as she gets off. And
you're letting him put your children's, like, oh, that's the one we went to. It's like some teacup ride, and it was £4 a go or something. And they went, oh, sorry, how old is she? It's like, at the time, she's only turned 3 last week. It was like, oh, she's 2. They went, yeah, under 3's an adult has to go on as well. So it's like, okay. He went, yeah, and that's another £4. Like, what are you talking about? If Father Christmas could see you, you'd be on the naughty list, is what I should have said. But
right, we didn't say much about shopping.
So
that's the way it goes. It's fun.
We have a shopping list. I'm not allowed to do the shopping. Essentially,
yeah, that'll do. That's fine. I mean, Biffo was talking about paper sizes. I mean, how do you have 10 different paper sizes? What do you say?
He did very well. He did. What is on this shopping list? Is this? Did you keep any of the pictures? Is that your thumb?
No, it's not my. I didn't do that. I'm not a bloody props team. That's it's got a quiche.
Why does that? Oh, I thought it said tart quickie.
Well, tart /case.
Yeah.
I'm guessing for somebody who doesn't know what quiche is.
Every year, my son, we had this tradition, because when my son was about 3, and it was just me and him then, and I was like, we're going to do whatever you want on Christmas Day, boy. And he said, I made him a jam tart, and he said, can I slam my face into this? I went, yes, you can, yes. And so every year now, we make a jam tart, and on Christmas Day he just plummets his face into it.
Are you like the Adam Sandler bit with your Big Daddy?
Yeah, I constantly wet myself when I'm with my son. Yeah, I think that's what's happened. Now I think about it, is when me and his mum split up, and I just went, well, I want to be the best parent now. So
that's why she's got 2 advent calendars.
That's why my son's got every computer console. He's got a PlayStation 5, and he went, but the Xbox is good. I was like, it is good, isn't it?
Do you play?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, luckily, I need to more. Like, I'm actually going to set time aside because I know with the next baby coming, like that just whittles down more. I say the next baby. This is the last baby. There's not like a conveyor belt of babies. I'm done now. Because I'm not 20, really. I'm 42, so that's too old to be having a baby, really.
You're not a rock star, are you, Ash?
Not anymore. But yeah, I'm going to make time to play computer games because...
You're not going to have any time, though, are you? You're going to make time?
I've got this room now, and it's soundproofed, and I can just be in here, and no one can come in.
I don't think the reason we have no time when we have kids is because we can't escape them. We could all lock ourselves away. I think we have responsibilities.
But I've got so much to do.
Yes, I know.
I go to watch football. I do stand up in an evening. I've got a PlayStation 5.
Well, as soon as the streamer starts paying a proper wage, that's
yes.
Yeah, that's it. It's my job. Got to do it. I'm still waiting for that time. It's been 4 years. Ashton says I do my dad's shopping, and he buys nothing except ice cream and jelly every bloody week. For Tesco checkout asks if I'm catering for a kids' party.
This is unrelated. I don't know if this is funny. I'm not sure it is. But I once bought condoms, strawberries, and champagne.
Did they say lucky girl?
It wasn't. The thing that's weird about it wasn't like for a one hit type scenario. You know, it was like I was buying champagne for something, I was buying strawberries for something, and I was buying well, you know what I was buying condoms for, but it was balloons.
Should have said to the checkout lady, you got any numbers of any good violinists?
And she's someone's in for a good evening, and I said, what time do you get off? And she but I just remember that vividly, being like, I almost wanted to say, and I think I always say about being a stand-up, it is just saying and doing stupid things at inappropriate times. I kind of wanted to just say, this isn't for one evening, or something like that. Like, you don't need to say anything.
No.
This isn't, I'm not going to... But yeah.
Right, well that's shopping list.
Shopping.
Right, we're going to find out what your number 8 is. This is Ash's number 8 favourite list.
Number 8.
Bucket list.
Oh yes, the old bucket list. And you did use my picture for that one.
I used a horizontal movie poster because they've got those.
What's the point of me doing any of this work? Bucket list, I think, is something... It's weird because when I was growing up, all I wanted to do was present a radio show and be a stand-up comedian. And work in football, basically. That's what I wanted. And then I got a radio show on local radio with comedian Matt Adlington, and it wasn't all I'd expected it to be honest, because we did this football show, so it was football, it was radio, and I was a stand-up comedian, and I was like, this is incredible, this is like, I've got what I wanted. And then we realised that no one at the radio station cared at all about what we were doing, and we could just get away with whatever we wanted. And then they cancelled this football show and moved me and him to the middle of the night, and we just started testing the boundaries, like, 'cause no one would give that. The producer just kept going, really great show, really enjoying your work, and we're like, he's not listening to us, like, there's no way, he's definitely not. So we started just doing weirder and weirder things. Like, we had a game called what do we call it? Where it was like a phony talent, it was called, where people would phone in with their talents, but they were mad talents. So one guy said that he could draw photorealistic portraits of people within 3 minutes.
Rubbish.
And it was right, but the idea was that it was on the radio. So it'd be 3 minutes, and we'd go, "How have you got on?" He said, "Yeah, bang on. It's absolutely perfect." And we'd say, "Is it photorealistic?" And he'd say, "Yes." And we had someone who could guess, a lady that could guess which biscuit it was by the crunch.
So she just pretend on the other end.
Exactly. That's the beauty. That's the beauty.
It's funny.
And they just didn't say, like, we just did that, and they didn't care. And we said, like, Matt occasionally slipped up and said something really awful, and we were like, "Oh, should we cut that out? Can we?" Because it was pre-recorded, and we'd go, "Let's just see. Let's just see if we go."
I suppose it depends on the complaints, doesn't it?
Yeah, and there were no complaints because it was the middle of the night, so it was just like, it was just weird. So my bucket list, like I say, were all this, and then I did TV warm up for the Football League show on Channel 5. And I remember phoning my mum on the way. It was filmed at Sky Sports Studios, or Sky Studios, whatever. I phoned my mum on the way to the first job, and I was like, "Mum, it's just dawned on me that I always wanted to be a stand-up, and I always wanted to work in football, and here I am going to do stand-up on a football TV show." And she's like, "Oh, this is amazing, incredible." And then the following day, the reviews for that show came out, and it was horrible. Like, they were saying this is the worst football show that's ever existed. And then I went to dinner with my parents, or like a Sunday lunch it was, and my mum had a copy of the paper, and in the paper it had a picture of the audience, and just a review slagging off the show, just like, the audience were miserable. And my mum was like, "Look at their faces, they're so miserable." I went, "Mum, it was my job to stop them looking miserable."
Oh, you're that guy that warms up the audience.
I was the studio warm up. But I said to people like, "Oh, what are you like? Oh, which team do you support?" And every one of them was like, "No, I don't like football." And I said, "What are you doing here?" And they said, "Oh, they told us if we come and watch this, we could get tickets to QI." That's why they were all there, was to get tickets to a different show. They had to tick this box.
I suppose it's a new show. I mean, some of them must like football. Bloody hell, was the odd.
Occasionally, but then we'd have people come in. So the presenters were excellent presenter called Kelly Dalglish. Kelly Kate. She is now. She was Kenny Dalglish's daughter. She is Kenny Dalglish's daughter, and George Riley, and the audience. I remember once just saying, "Kelly, where do you live?" And she's like, "Oh, I live in Surrey," or whatever. And he went, "Yeah, but whereabouts in Surrey?" And she's like, "Oh, the west." And he went, "No, but whereabouts exactly in Surrey?" It's like, oh my god! Like, I had to go on stage and go, "Yeah, can we not ask them specifically where the presenters live?" It was like, okay, it was babysitting is what I was doing. So essentially, I think my point is, your bucket list, your dreams might not always be that good.
You've done it.
Is what I think.
Have you got anything else on your bucket list now?
To have 2 children.
You've done that, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I've fucked it. got a third coming. No, I never really had that.
I think your friend Matt's in the chat, actually.
Matty adds. What's he saying? No, I didn't. No, I didn't say the awful stuff, Matt. That's not true. Right, he's mentioned soggy biscuits. That's because I've come up with a brilliant idea for an invention. I stand by it. It's pre-dunked biscuits.
Oh, no.
So you... What?
No, I don't know about that.
So what I did was... Just think about... I sometimes want a dunked biscuit, but I don't want the faff of making a cup of tea.
So, well, you get tea that tastes like dunked biscuits.
Yes,
yeah.
Very good.
Which is...
But what I did was I soaked some biscuits in the perfect cup of tea, wrapped them in cling film and took them into the studio, microwaved them for 30 seconds and then made Matt eat them.
Was that on the directions? Was it?
That was on the directions. And I genuinely think that might be a great idea. Like,
you
I fancy
keep a soggy... How are you going to transport a soggy biscuit?
Well, you've got in cling film. It'd be in a little plastic, it'd be in a bamboo pot.
I think the only way to do it would be to have like a soggy biscuit mush and moulds, and you mould it.
No.
Mine makes more bloody sense than yours.
It's a crazy idea.
It's a great. You have a pot. You take a spoon out. You put it in the mould. of like I don't know, like a coconut ring or something.
A what?
Coconut ring. Just cooking
What
up
do you
something.
mean? What's coconut ring?
It's like a biscuit. It's got bits of coconut in it. There's just one shape I could think of. Right, a digestive.
I've never heard of a coconut ring.
Has anyone else heard of a coconut ring? Because we've got some in the cupboard.
A coconut ring? Has it got a hole in the middle?
Yeah, it's a ring. Oh yes,
Wow.
that's Bowie here. So I'm not the weird one here.
Well, no, I'm not. I'd never heard of it. I love the idea of it.
The idea of putting coconut in your biscuits might work a bit better for you, to be honest.
Oh, it's certainly give it some. It'd be like Watland Dawn, you know, where they used to put straw in goat
Yeah,
shit,
like an
and
aggregate type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. This is great. Jot that down, Matt Adlington. If you're still watching, make that. That's
part of this. I'm pretty secure in the knowledge that that's not going to take off. So otherwise, I would invest.
What? What's on your bucket list? I feel like I've just talked at you. I'm so sorry.
I was thinking about bucket list earlier. I made a spaghetti bolognese tonight. I was thinking maybe to eat like a raw clove of garlic.
Really?
That'd be one. Jump over a bonfire.
Isn't that something about? Like, don't you bring back an old relative from the dead or something by doing that? Isn't that like a weird
That's why I'm going
spell
to do it. That's why I'm doing it with deathbed.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? Jumping over. Oh, how do you cure this thing? Oh, well, you have to jump over a bonfire on a Wednesday night or something. Is there something like jumping over the embers of a bonfire?
I don't.
There's something. Stuart Ashton.
There's a reason I was waiting until my I was also going to take heroin on my deathbed because I know it's very addictive, but it doesn't matter, does it?
Imagine if you took heroin and they went, "Oh, actually, we've cured you," and you go, "Oh no,
I'm fucking addicted now, aren't I? Look."
Oh, that bloody it.
I mean, surely if you were that close to death, you haven't got long left anyway. I could afford a few years of it.
Well, but you don't know when your deathbed's going to be. Not to be too bleak about things, but
Well, I'm assuming I've got something terminal and I'm laying down a lot, so just give me. I'll send my.
what about if your deathbed happens to be on a train tracks and you're? No, that doesn't work.
You've been run over by a train.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Well, this is the heroin thing. I'm going to stipulate. It's only if I'm on a deathbed.
Okay.
I don't want someone injecting heroin into my corpse. It's a waste.
Reanimate you. It'd be like, you know, when a bee in the summer and you feed it sugar water and it comes back to life. That's what it's like with heroin.
I was amazed when I saw it for the first time. Someone giving it a bit of sugar water. I was like, "Ooh."
Girlfriend. My girlfriend is obsessed by it. It's like that's her thing. Every summer, quick, get some sugar water for the bee.
Just every other animal on the planet knows when it's going to be knackered.
Yeah,
But a bee doesn't. It just goes from zzz to nothing.
Yeah, just walking around, lazy bee. But yeah, and they love pure alcohol. They love ethanol as well, don't they? Bees will drink pure ethanol. For some reason, they're like drunk, sugar-loving. They're basically the crackheads of the insect world.
Well, they only live a few days, don't they? They're probably like me.
That can't be true. Bees
Well,
don't
some
live.
do. I'm sure they do. They don't
Do
live
they?
long, do they? It's gotta be a
Bees
few
live for years.
weeks. No, they don't. You ever seen a
Famous-
grey beard?
Yeah. Yeah, bees live for like 5 years, don't they?
There's different species in there. Or different groups.
It's not. They're all the same.
Ashton's uncle Peter was a bee. Apparently.
There you go. Yeah, Pete. Like bee, because you can't. They don't live 2 days. Otherwise,
No, maybe not 2 days. I was
because
exaggerating.
beekeeping would be ridiculous if every day you just had to hoover out 1,000 bees.
Such a hard job.
I've got to get you constantly down the pet shop by the bag of bees.
And then his wife comes out and says, "You got to stop naming them, Jeff. Stop naming the bees. You're just torturing yourself."
The guy at Pets Homes, like, somebody likes bees. Another bag of bees, please. This is your 3rd bag this week, Terry. I can't keep them alive.
Oh, do you reckon they sell bees in bags? I'd love a bag of bees.
Yeah, they've got. Where else are you transporting bees if not a bag?
Box.
Not a bee. A box of bees, famously. My mate had a box of ladybirds delivered.
What for?
To get rid of aphids. So they turn up in a sort of matchbox, and then you put them by your aphid, like your strawberry plant, open them up, and then the ladybirds come out, and it's like a massacre.
There's a song
I guess.
about this. What do they get to kill off the ladybirds? You have to buy birds.
Yeah, my mate's garden is now full of snakes, to be fair.
No, we've got a bloody ferret. What was it? No, mongoose. Full of mongooses next week.
Yeah.
Do you have anything on your new bucket list? Something like fancy.
I mean, now I'm on here, I feel like that's everything ticked off, to be fair, after I first saw the show.
Don't want to climb a mountain or something?
No, I'm never, ever going to do this now. But I did always want to walk Land's End to John O'Groats.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, I could do that, I think. No, I'd rather bike it, I think.
Oh, have you ever ridden a bike, though? And it really hurts your bum, doesn't it?
I was a kid, and I've wanted to for years, but I'm afraid to wear a stupid helmet and stuff and ride in the road. It's all changed since I was a kid.
This is a bugbear of mine, riding in the road. What? How many times have you ever been crashed into by someone on a bike? My answer is 0. Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I left my house to go stay at a friend's. Just crossing the same road I'd cross every day and got hit by a bloke on a bike.
Was he in the road or was he on the path?
He was in the road.
Oh, well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Never have I been hit by a bicycle
I had
on the path.
Guess who in my bag, ready to take to my friends. That went flying in the air. And then when I got home the next day, my twin brother had drawn an illustration of me getting hit by a bike and the Guess Who game flying off.
Oh, that's
nice. Nice memory.
Nice touch. But I think you should just be allowed to, like, my son, if he was saying, I'm going to cycle around my mates, I'd say, whatever you do, don't go nowhere near the road.
Yeah.
Just cycle on the path. Never an issue. The main problem is people on their phones walking.
Yeah.
That's much worse than a cyclist. At least a cyclist is looking where they're going.
Yeah. I mean, are you supposed to go towards the cars or away from the cars? I can never remember.
Oh, you have to remember that. That is key.
That's
Yeah.
why I can't do it.
You go with the flow, don't you?
Are you sure?
Yeah. Why not?
100%?
Nope.
See if someone else answers that. Do you think your twin arranged that accent? Possibly. To be honest, Loopy Lou, the guy on the bike was much worse off than me, which is a comfort.
I like that Loopy Lou said we used to move bees in their hives. Like, I think I knew that, really.
When walking on the road, you go against, says Bowie here.
Yeah, that's right. You walk against, you cycle with.
What, is it that much faster, is it? Where do they draw the line?
Well, they draw the line in the middle of the road. They have to do that.
The easiest way to transport insects is a buggy.
In a buggy.
Oh, that's a joke. You
Right.
wasted my time, Doc. Right, let's get to your number 7, which is I can't remember.
No, it's not. So I didn't have anything else. I didn't have another thing on there. I don't think.
Sorry. This is Ash's number 7. Yeah, God, we only on number 7.
Oh,
Number
sorry.
7. That's right. It always goes like this, and then we whiz through.
We won't.
New member 5 man.
To-do list.
Yeah, so this is a very important list, isn't it? Your old to-do list. Yeah, this for me is a real. I've just this year got into meditation and things because I wasn't poncy enough, basically. So I sort of this year decided to get into a bit of meditation.
Does it work?
Yeah, massively. I'm an advocate of it. I know I'm late to the party. You know what's good, guys? Meditation. But a to-do list for me is like a bit of meditation. So it was my intention to have it. I'd write every evening my to-do list and tick it off. That was my New Year's resolution. It lasted about a month and then I didn't bother. But to have a to-do list and tick things off is incredibly cathartic, incredibly good for your brain. Yeah. And it gives you a sense of, in a world, especially in the last 18 months, where you've been able to do so little, to be able to have some little morsel of achievement by ticking off a thing is genuinely, I think, really good for you.
I'm not doing the nodding thing like a proper. I actually agree with you. I was thinking of getting a whiteboard the other day, and just have a list, and just knowing that maybe you get it all done before midday, and then you've got the rest of the day to do what you want, and that's a great thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I genuinely do. I think number one on your list should be WD-40 for that chair.
No, I know there's a real problem in it. A washer fell out, and then I chucked the washer away. Apparently, I need that to stop.
I'll send you a washer. Yeah, I'll get a washer. I'll send it to you tomorrow.
No, I'll just get a new chair.
Oh yeah, do that. That's fine. I won't do that. Yeah, no, but I genuinely do. Like, we bought this house in March, and it's like, this is the house. This is the one. We're staying. You know, we lived at the last house 3 years. We sort of outgrew it, and so we bought this house. And from day one, it was like, what have the people who've been living here before been doing? Like, there was this noise. The day we moved in, every time you ran a tap, there was a thing called water knock. And it was just like, every time you ran a tap, it went oh throughout the entire house. I was like, what the hell is that? And that was just the start of what was to come. I said to the neighbour, I went, oh God, there's a load to do here. And he was like, yeah. I went, oh, we got water knock every time I turned the tap. And he went, we know. So it was like vibrating into their house as well.
No, I wonder if you complained to the neighbour before you moved in.
Oh yeah, well, maybe I should have. Yeah, I don't know, but he probably had. But it took me 15 minutes, and I think luckily I'm quite handy.
How'd you fix water knock?
I changed the inlet valve on the water. We've got a water tank because it's an old house. I want rid of that. You don't want water tank, do you, for your bathroom? Really, you don't want to brush your teeth in tanked water.
I don't know where the water comes from. I imagine it just gathers in a bucket on the roof.
Have you got a big tank in the loft, or does it, or not?
No, I've got my mother and her husband in the loft.
Oh, have you? Yeah. There you go. Then you probably haven't got a water tank. Then you've probably got mains, much cleaner.
Is it? Good.
I didn't think we'd be talking about that tonight. But yeah, then I realised that there was a pipe going into the soil pipe outside, and it wasn't sealed in. So basically, every time a toilet was flushed upstairs, just a bit of it was just spraying out of this hole. It's like, how long's that been happening for? Years. just a bit of shitty water would spray out this hole every time someone went to the toilet or had a shower or a bath or whatever. So it's like, oh, there's another job. Then there was a smell in the kitchen, and I am, again, like I say, very handy, do lots of plumbing, and I looked at this.
This isn't a dating game show.
And I'm, yeah, good sense of humour. Curmudgeon, don't believe in Santa. But I looked at this pipe work and I was like, I couldn't even make head nor tails. No, is that the expression? Head or tail?
Head nor tail sounds fancy.
I couldn't make head ni tails of it. And I had to call in a plumber because I was like, I'm sorry, mate, but I've no idea what's going on. He looked at it and went, I've never seen anything like this before. And that's what you want to hear. You know, like if you've been for a massage and the masseuse goes, oh, this is the worst shoulder I've ever felt. And you go, oh, thank God, yes.
I've never been to a massage.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, I highly recommend it. Get your to-do list, get a massage.
A really bad back.
Yes, get it done. It's incredible for you.
Do I need to go to like a doctor? I don't know why we're talking about this now, but is it?
You should go and see someone about your back, really. Do go see a doctor about your back. Don't go. I went to a, what's the one for your back? An osteopath. Absolute quackery. Actually, so I hurt my back. I had a car accident, so I drove into the back of me. And this lady was massaging my back, and she said, oh, like, I told her it was a car accident. She went, oh, I had a car accident once. I went, okay. She said, yeah, I was driving down a country lane. It was dead of night, pitch black, no streetlights. And a man slipped off a bank, and I hit him and killed him. She's massaging my back. And I was just face down. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, why did you say that to someone?
Did she say it very calmly as well? Like
yeah, she said it, just matter of fact. She said it totally wasn't her fault. But it's like, don't tell me that at this stage. And that's not my last osteopath story. Another time I went to an osteopath, it was my mum had been and recommended me to go, probably paid as well. And the lady, as she's massaging me, I'm face down in the little hole and she's clicking my back and stuff. And she said, oh, your mum says you do stand-up. I was very new. Mum says you do a bit of stand-up. I was like, yeah. She went, oh, God. I hope you're not like this guy we saw down at Hockley Golf Course the other day. Oh, it was atrocious. some of the things he said, and then she then listed my act to me, and it was me that she had seen at my worst ever gig. It was just, I did this thing where I said,
what you need to do now is massage her and say, God, I hope you're not like this other masseuse.
But it was a similar story. So I did a bit. It was one of my first ever 10 minutes. So I did a really good 5 minutes. Had them on side. Then I thought I'm going to do my little psychic medium bit. So I pointed. I said I've got someone coming through, and I did their old like getting a G. Have you lost someone G? And then the woman said like no, and I went it's Grandad, and I've had Grandad. And then I pointed to this guy and went, have you recently lost your father have you recently lost your father? And he went no, and I said okay, so there's been an accident. That's not nice. That is an unpleasant joke, and I wasn't a good enough comedian to carry it off. And yeah, I lost a room at the back of the room. Someone just went no. And yeah, then she told me about it whilst I was on the massage table. Anyway, so it's got nothing to do this, does it?
When I
to do this,
I was going to buy a whiteboard and realised I've got one there on the wall.
Oh,
but it's covered in my daughter's drawings, and for some reason I won't wipe that off.
Oh, the amount of old shit I've kept for my children. What is that? She brings back like some scrunched up bit of paper and says, "Oh, I made this, and it's you." I go, "Oh, well, I'm going to keep that."
You have to get rid of some of it, though, don't you?
Absolute tut.
Did she draw the face?
No, she's 3.
Well, my daughter's pretty good. No, she's that good. I got nothing to hand, but yeah.
Yeah,
you
she's
can't
just drawing
them all. You got. I think it gets to a point where you just got to start chucking them away. I think she found it. Oh, thank you for the follow there, Matty Ads.
Good old Matty Ads.
My ex threw about 50 of her drawings away the other day, and the one time in her life, my daughter looked in the bin and saw them all. God, I'm glad I wasn't there to explain that one, but
yeah, well, it's just as well the relationship crumbled into dust.
Yeah, we're still good friends, Ash. Which is unusual for this day and age, to be honest.
I know nothing of it. I just thought it'd be funny.
No, I know. Let's move on, shall we?
Yeah, after that.
On that bombshell.
Yeah.
This is Ash's number 6.
Number 666.
Now, you lot can't see Ash when these videos are going, but I can see him, and he was like, what have I said? What have I done? The whole time. No, he wasn't really. Right, Index.
So, yes, the old...
Glossary? Same thing?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you tell me. Why does it say put to death on your list there? Number 67 to 83, put to death.
God, you've got very good eyesight, haven't you? Because it's smaller for you, I think. Thomas Chaplin of Queen. I don't know. I just looked for Index on Google.
Oh, it mentions Colchester. That's not that far away from where I am.
Bear baiting.
Oh, does it say bear baiting? Oh yeah, bear baiting. That's bad, isn't it? I think.
Is it like a Bible index or something? No,
it looks like it. Yeah.
Much bear baiting in the Bible, was it? I think.
It's got beggary, but not buggery. I can see that. Yeah, so I like an index. What's the difference between an index and a content?
Well, contents is at the beginning. Index is at the end. Contents would be the chapters, wouldn't it? And then the index would be specific paragraphs.
Yeah.
Is that a genuine question? Or was that a build-up?
Yeah, no. It was no. Don't please. I haven't prepared that much. I really hope he follows my lead into this. What's the difference? I've got a 25-minute bit about this. That might be true. The amount I've talked so far. I don't think it's going to be long before me and Ashens are on some sort of index catalogue as well. That was an Argos type thing as well, wasn't it, in the 90s?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Index. So was Index a standalone shop then? I remember Index, but I was probably too young to visit Index.
I believe.
Or was it just the catalogue?
I don't know. Someone will know, won't they? I mean, I'm looking at. I looked at the comments, going, "Come on, guys." Yeah, I think it was a shop. I think it was exactly the same as Argos, but just not as good.
Someone said it was like Argos, says Mr. Natterjack. Index
It was
also
also
a shop. There you go. That's what Twitter's good for.
It
Seems
really
you type
is.
into Google, doesn't it, all the time?
I think, yeah, no, I do. I like an index. I like to be able to. I struggle with a book where I really struggle with suspense of a book. So this is a bit of a different thing, but if there's something, I want to know that everyone's going to be all right. So I sometimes will just check the last page of a book.
What's the point?
I know it's pathetic. I'm pathetic as a human.
Stop
It's like,
reading bloody thrillers then. Read something
I'm
else.
like, I don't know whether I'm going to be all right if this guy doesn't make it back to Earth. But he does. He always does. Tim Peake. It was his autobiography I was reading. But yeah, an index helps, doesn't it? If you want to plop back. I mean, you know what index is. I don't need to tell you, but
Yeah.
it's a good
I suppose
list.
they're good for studying, aren't they? I suppose.
How often do you have the dream that you've forgotten to do some work, some schoolwork?
Never. I don't dream anymore.
You not?
No.
Not since the big split.
I know, just not in a long time. I just don't think I don't really sleep. I mean, I was listening to an audiobook last night, and I normally set it for 30 minutes, and then I wake up the next morning and forget 15 minutes of what.
Oh
I
yeah,
said.
yeah.
But I reset it 5 times last night, so I listened to 2.5 hours of a book before
Bloody
I could fall
hell.
asleep. I know.
What are you listening to at the moment?
It's a Clive Barker book.
I don't know who Clive Barker is.
He's a horror guy. He did Hellraiser,
Oh.
Candyman. He's
Do you have headphones in, or do you have it out of the phone
as
speakers?
loud as possible, and then the Alexa's playing thunderstorm sounds just for the atmosphere.
Wow, that's so brave. Didn't have you down as the bravest man alive.
No, well, you know, I am.
I sleep listening to podcast or audiobook, and I put headphones in, and I often wake up just laying on my phone, or a headphone has managed to get between my ribs or something. It's so painful. But my brother-in-law bought me some sleep headphones, which are just much softer, and you can
Yeah, I
sleep
was
in
going
them.
to say, it really hurts if you sleep on a headphone, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's stupid. And also now the baby's coming, I don't think it's not going to be on for me to go, all right, night everyone, see you later. Oh, you deal with that. So I think that those days are over. But I don't think my wife's going to want to hear some of the books that I listen to. So I don't
Raven
know.
Alpha said, how do you not know who Clive Barker is, Ash?
Oh, I don't know who anyone is.
There's 3 main horror writers. I think there's Stephen King, there's Clive
Mhm.
Barker, and there's Dinar Kuntz, I think. Well, Michael Crichton as well, maybe.
Oh, see, Jurassic Park I read this year, and that's Michael Crichton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That book is incredible. Like, forget the film. It's an incredible book. It's one of the best books I've ever read.
There's a lot more to it. I've never read it, but I'm assuming it's a lot more adult, isn't it? It's a lot more
Genuinely.
science-based as well.
Yeah, I just genuinely was staggered by how good it was. And I read it when I was a teenager for school. I was like, this is a brilliant. It's not like my favourite book's Hitchhiker's Guide, which is the best book, I think.
Yeah.
But that, yeah, I made a real conscious effort to read books and listen to books this year, and I've done loads, and I've done like all of H.G. Wells, and like he's got this thing. I don't know if you've ever read any H.G. Wells, but he's got a pattern in every one of his books where he gets about 2/3 through, and then you can tell he's just gone, fuck this, and just wraps it up as quickly as possible. Every one of his books, it gets to a point like The Invisible Man. Like, there's no reason for the Invisible Man to ever get caught at all, but for some reason he just goes back to like where everyone is looking for him to go and punch a guy in the face. It's like, well, you wouldn't. He's invisible. He's got no reason to go back and get caught and go to prison.
I've always wondered that about all the Invisible Man things. How do they're so stupid. How do you
Yeah.
get caught? You're invisible.
There's no reason for he gets caught, the Invisible Man, because he goes back home and they're waiting for him and he gets trapped. It's pathetic. It's so stupid. But it's the same as everyone. Every H.G. Wells story is exactly the same. Like War of the Worlds, like, oh, they're going to take over the world. Oh no, they've got flu, they're dead. Don't worry about it. The Men, was it The Men in the Moon? They just, a little kid dies and it's all over. He goes, oh well, can't get back, done. Awful.
Well, he's considered one of the greats.
Honestly, but I think because it was written a bit like Dickens, where it was like a serial, it would be in the newspaper, so they would serialise it. I bet it just got to the point where the editor of the paper was just like, you've had 13 weeks at this, like, we're going to be wrapping it up soon. And he just didn't know how to finish a story. I think and it's all Victorian as well, so it's quite interesting. Like, in his later books, you get some references to football, like weird little references to football, and it's weird to think that that's just because that had only just started, like, being popular.
This will never take off, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But I was thinking, even with The Invisible Man, if it's set in Victorian times, nobody's got thermal goggles or anything. It'd be piss easy to get away with all of that.
But he's so stupid. He's so unlikable. He's so unlikable, the Invisible Man. He's an arsehole.
Yeah.
And he's aggressive, and he punches people, and he starts fights, and he nicks stuff.
I mean, I've never read it, but I've read the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen graphic novels, and he's a right arsehole in those. I'm guessing it's more based on...
Yeah, it must be, yeah. He's a dickhead. He's a scientist, and he's, like... I think he might have killed someone. I can't remember, but yeah, he's not very nice at all. He's not a pleasant guy, and you just think you'd learn some humility, wouldn't you? Because it's not great being an invisible man. I don't think.
I think it's when you don't. The whole thing is when you don't have to look at yourself in the mirror. You could do anything, can't you?
Oh, and that's like Twitter, isn't it?
Yeah. And on that bombshell, we're going to go to number 5. This is Ash's number 5 favourite list.
Johnny time in a rhyme.
Charts.
I love a chart.
Still.
Not necessarily the music charts, but like this is a chart as in rank. Like, so what we're doing now is a chart.
Yeah.
If you see what I'm saying, I like, having an order of favourites basically, or best. But it's subject. Like, I'm a massive football fan. I'm both a football fan and I'm massive. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Because it doesn't matter that my team aren't the best team. No. But I do like to have that order. Like, what is objectively the best? I do like that. That does feel like it puts some order in my life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I was trying to think of some... someone makes... High Fidelity. You ever seen the film High Fidelity? He's always making lists.
Yeah.
Is that you?
That's good. Yeah. Let's do that. And with my son... We'll sort of talk these things through. It'll be like, name your 5 best XYZ, I feel like I'd love my life to be a lot more structured and in order. But also, I have this real objection to it. Like, even doing things on a certain day, when I go, every Wednesday I do that. And then that actually bothers... Like, I like it to start with, that I know where I am. And then after a while, I really hate it. Like, it becomes a thing.
Any minute now, your life's going to be turned upside down anyway. All that's going to be out the window. You're looking forward to it?
No.
Is it a boy or a girl, do you know?
It's going to be a boy this time. I've decided. No, yeah, it's going to be a boy, yeah. But yeah, so I've got a boy, like I say, 14-year-old. And I like the things he likes rather than him liking the things I like. Like, I always wanted Nintendo, never had Nintendo. I got a Commodore 64 rather than a NES. He is obsessed with Nintendo and owns everything Nintendo. So I'm like, oh god, yeah, I love Nintendo. And I've sort of followed him into that. And he's just started doing like repairs on Nintendo, like changing screens and speakers and things. I'm like, this is brilliant. Yeah. So now I'm watching videos of that happening. I'm following my 14-year-old son. But with this new one, all I want is for him to like football above anything else.
Does your other son not like football?
He hates it. He's got no interest whatsoever. No interest. I poisoned him, or his mum did. I don't know which.
Might shock you now, Ash. I don't like football either.
No, and good. I really don't. I don't want people to like football. Right? I don't. It is stupid. I don't like football. Don't get into football. It's rubbish. It's a rip-off. They're arseholes. The clubs are terrible. It's a horrible industry. But I'm obsessed by it and I love it more than anything in the world. Genuinely. I live about 5 minutes away from Southend United. I go and watch them. I'm an Arsenal fan. I've got season tickets. Spend thousands of pounds. It's ridiculous. I love it. But I hate it. I'm so pleased my son doesn't like it because he's such a better person for it. And I hate football fans. I never want to talk about football other than the radio show about football I did with Matt. I don't care about anyone else's opinion. I like to go to the ground. If I could, I'd put my headphones on and watch the game and go. I have no part of it other than I love watching it. But I just want my son, this second son, to be into it. So I want to watch my son play football. I want to, and maybe I'll find the beauty in football through him.
Yeah, I mean, I used to enjoy playing football. But I never really wanted to watch it. I never really had any interest in watching it. But playing it's a game. But I mean, watching it feels like a chore to me. I mean, even different horses for courses. Lots of inaccurate phrases out to that, I think.
My daughter, like, there's a huge women's game now. You know, it's really growing, and she knows how to play me because she pretends to like it, but she doesn't like it. I'm not stupid. But now it's like there's more women's football than there's ever been. So there is a chance that she'll go for it, but I already know she won't. I already know. But
are you like somebody who watches football and then is like, yes? Like, you know, no. I mean, I've watched people. I mean, my daughter had a birthday and her uncle came round and watched football during the birthday. These are some of the reasons I don't like football. And he gets so excited. And I just wish I could get that excited about anything.
Oh, I'd love it.
Yeah.
But it's weird. Like, I will stand up when my team score and enjoy it. And occasionally I've picked up a man who stood next to me. Sure, I have. But I don't have that same... I don't know. I love it. I genuinely do love it. And it bothers me. It will bother me for days when we're crap. But I don't have that sort of explosive emotion about it. And if I have, then I think it's fake. Like, I remember in 1993, I fainted at Wembley when my team scored in the FA Cup final. Really? I stood up. I think I stood up too fast. Oh, the vapours. But yeah, so I know it's charts is what we're going back to, but so I like having an order of things based on how good they are. When I'm buying stuff, I want to know, is this the bet? What level do they come in? So I'll buy the third one because that's what I can afford.
You know, I think your description of this list is going to be exactly the same as the next list.
Maybe that's true. I can't remember, but it could well be that. But it's like when you're buying baby stuff. I don't know whether you ever noticed this. That they go, oh, this is the mattress for the baby's cot. So this one is £800, and it basically this one it will feed your baby. Definitely keep that baby alive, and all those times that you think your baby's died when you walk in and you just assume that you're like, oh my god, definitely this time. It won't have that because it will constantly be telling you it's alive. This one is made of nails, and that's the cheapest one. And then we've got this one in the middle, which is about halfway, and everyone buys the one in the middle. But you have to have that list so that you know the one in the middle isn't going to be made of sawdust. I think you have to have a chart.
Like Santa Claus the movie, all those toys. You ever seen Santa Claus the movie?
Yeah. I think that is that the one with
Dudley Moore, John Lithgow, is Teddy Bear?
Yeah.
Nails and I don't know why I said that.
Why does in these Christmas films are all the toys made of wood? You know, it goes to Santa's workshop.
Days, isn't it? It's that or Bakelite. What are you going to have?
Yeah, but the 80s.
Yeah, well, I think. Yeah, well, that's no wonder Santa Claus got phased out because they were a bit shit, weren't they?
They are shit. No one wants a wooden. Like, imagine if you gave your daughter a wooden train set. She'd go, "What's this, Toss?"
It hasn't got lights or anything.
It's
shit. And then I kind of watched Santa Claus the movie. I don't know why we're talking about this now, but I was watching Santa Claus the movie, and I feel really bad for Santa. I'm like, they don't want this. You're going to embarrass yourself, Santa. On Christmas Day, you're going to be so embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
Oh. But that's your empathy shining through. That just shines you in a good light, I think.
Poor Santa.
But see, this is what I'm talking about. You just poo-pooed me, I've just realised. That's me in a book. This is exactly what I'm thinking. I'm going, no, Santa! They're not going to like this. It's going to be horrible. And so I have to quickly go, oh my God, is there a redemption for Santa? That's the thing. I hate the suspense.
Well, the difference is I'll wait till the end of the film. I'm not going to fast forward.
Yeah, no, I can't. I'm pathetic. I'm very weak. Very, very weak.
We're going to go on to the next one. We always whiz through the last ones. You're not talking too much. You're great. We love a chatty guest on Top 10, Ash. I don't want you to feel like I'm
However,
rushing.
Ash.
Well, we always do this. I think the first one is like half the time. And then it gets incremental or astronomical. You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying. Right, this is your number 4. There, see, you've just explained this one.
Well, no, because, and I don't want to I'm not shooting you down on your show.
Bloody are. Do you like the picture, by the way?
Yeah, I like that. So a chart for me is the order of, like, so again, I don't want to keep referring back to football because it is rubbish and I hate it, but I love it more than anything. Like, that is a list of the best. That, like, you know, the top team is there because they've won the most points. On the song that's number 1 in the charts is there because it's sold the most records.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But whereas favourite, I can say things
It's
like
subjective.
Very, very much so. Yeah. So my favourites, like my favourite band. No, my favourite band's the Arctic Monkeys. That's my favourite band. But my favourite
to have the Arctic Monkeys as your favourite band. Do you know what
Oh, you said I was 20 earlier.
I said you were 17. I was being kind before you came on.
Am I too old to have the Arctic Monkeys as my favourite band?
I'm too old to have them as my favourite band.
I don't know how old you are.
I'm 38.
We're the same age, you fool.
And I'm too old to have the Arctic Monkeys as my... I could imagine you in the clubs at 35. Yeah, it's great, this.
You can't imagine me in the clubs. Have you not learned from what I've said so far? I'm not going to clubs. I'm a stand-up comedian, and the only reason a stand-up comedian is a stand-up comedian is so they don't have to go and do anything. I haven't seen my best friends for 5 years. That's the whole idea. But yeah, my favourites, like I say, Arctic Monkeys is my favourite band, but my favourite band is Busted. And I know that
riddles. You always talk. Do you always talk in riddles, Ash? I love football, but I hate football.
But like, so Arctic Monkeys are my favourite band, right?
Yeah.
If you say who's the best band in my opinion, Arctic Monkeys. But who do I listen to the most is Busted.
You're far too old for Busted.
No, I'm not. Am I?
Yeah. Well, you know what? It was kind of the American type music coming over for us. That was the first sort of...
I wasn't their demographic when they came out. I fully understand.
Screaming girl.
Yeah, I wasn't then. But I love Busted. I love it. Unironically, I love a bit of Busted. So that's the difference. I know they're not the best band, but they're still the one I listen to the most. My football team, they're not the best football team, but they're the team I watch the most.
Respect your loyalty.
Thank you very much. My wife, she's my favourite. Other people can't stand her.
Do you agree that in the year 3000 we live underwater?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know...
I mean, that's true, isn't it?
That's the one part of that song that is probably the most factual, because I think that your great-great-great-granddaughter is pretty fine. I think your great-great-great-granddaughter in 1,000 years will probably be 500 years old.
Well,
Stupid
depends on...
lyrics.
You're saying that now. You don't know medical advances, what's coming.
Yeah.
What about the bit where they sing about the Tories having a party while we were all locked down?
Underwater.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, no, so your favourites list. I think that's. But again, musically ruined by having a child. I don't know what yours is like, but my daughter will constantly want to listen to Disney stuff, and then it goes, "Oh, here's your songs of the year," and I'll go, "No, that's not my song." Although my daughter's absolutely obsessed with Spidey and His Amazing Friend on Disney Plus, so that song is done by the guy from Fall Out Boy, and so it's quite a good song.
Yeah.
And
my daughter likes that. What's all the witches and things? High School Musical type thing, but all the Disney princesses and
I don't know.
God, if your daughter watched it, she'd probably be obsessed as well. She's about.
What is it?
It's on Disney. There's 3 of them. Descendants.
No.
God, they're so bad. The Disney films, like the musicals, are so poorly shot and so cheap looking, but the kids love them.
Well, this is the thing. I had a bit of stand-up about it because I saw that they were actually designed to capture attention at certain intervals. So this is more like the Pixar films, but something will happen on a regular occurrence to draw you back, and it's so true. Like when you watch an old film, like my favourite films, like if you think about Indiana Jones, for example, like it's like, oh, what an incredible, exciting film that is. It's not. It's shit.
Yeah,
like it's so boring. Yeah. So I show my son. He's like, when's like an hour in? He's like, so what's happening? I'm like, well, they're just having a chat about something at the moment. If you just give it time. Yes. And now, like, it is a film. You go straight in, bang, 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 and it just it goes on and on quickly, fast paced, something happening the whole time. There's no like Rocky is the prime example. I think Rocky is one of the most brilliant films ever made.
Yeah.
The whole film is him not having a boxing match until the last 10 minutes of the film.
That's the best bit, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
The character. He's a solid character, that guy.
Yeah, but no kid. Like I watched that film. I watched that at 4, 5, 6 years old and thought it was brilliant. Like, if I showed that to my son now, he'd be like, we're 2 hours in, and so far he's trying to force himself on this woman who's not interested.
Yes. Well, yeah. It's just, I suppose we weren't raised on devices and things, were we? It's their attention spans. But it's being propelled, and it's snowballing more and more. So it's just got to keep catching up. So it's just going to be constant flashes of shit.
Well, that's it, and everything becomes like you've got YouTube Shorts and TikTok, where it's like you've got watch this thing for 15 seconds, and that's it. Like, what else? Like, are there going to be films that you're just watching little flashes of films? I don't know.
No, it's the end of the world, Ash.
But then it's the other thing is like constantly every generation says the same old crap, doesn't it? It's like that famous thing of people going, "Oh, look at everyone on their phones on the train," and then it shows a picture from like 1900. It's everyone with their newspapers up in front of their face.
Well, so they were all wanking, though, weren't
they? Famously.
Well, yeah, you get old people say, "Well, films in my day were 7 hours long." No, they weren't. You lying old cow. We can still see those films. If anything, they're shorter.
Yeah, and they're black and white.
Bloody boring.
Absolute dog shit, Grandma.
Right, there's other actors. Give Gene Kelly a rest, all right? Fuck me. There's other people out there.
Yeah, like now, when we've got all those different actors doing all the same old rubbish.
Well, do you, when you had young kids, were you really excited to show them the films you loved, and they did not give a fuck, and it just...
Well, the whole thing came about because I was showing my son Top Gun. So I've got the whole thing I'm telling you about with the random film thing, all come because I was showing my son Top Gun, and I realised, like, it turns out that's a propaganda film paid for by the US military, which I didn't realise. Like, that it was genuinely paid for to help recruit kids into the military. And then it dawned on me that what's the main character in Top Gun called?
I've forgotten his bloody name.
You're close with Magnum.
Solero?
Well, people would say Maverick.
Maverick, yes. Maverick.
But his name is Pete Mitchell, which is a shit name.
It's an EastEnders character.
Exactly. It's like, oh, well, who's the big character? His name's Pete Mitchell. He's an accountant. And so then I looked into all of the names of the characters, and they're all crap. It's all like...
Goose's name? Do you remember Goose's name?
No, I don't. I should have maybe learnt it for the bit
Well,
that
you
I
didn't
did.
know it was
But
going to go this way, did you?
no, you've thrown me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I went through, and it's like Chuck Norris has got. He played a character once called Frank Shatter, which just like awful. But yeah, so
I can't stand Chuck Norris.
no,
He's
no,
rubbish.
never enjoyed it.
He's so up his own arse.
I broke it down into what the names of I got all the action heroes and broke down their characters' names, and then did a spread, like a pie chart of the most common names. Like Frank is the most common, but Chuck Norris mainly plays characters called Chuck in all of his films, which I just think is incredible. Where it's just like, you know what, just call him Chuck. We'll just go and be done with it.
Has Chuck Norris ever tried an accent?
I can't imagine. I mean, he must be a very talented man. I'm sure he's good at martial arts.
It's not acting though, is it?
But not at acting.
Yeah, martial arts. When he had a fight with Bruce Lee, didn't he, I suppose?
I don't know, did he?
Yeah. And I think Bruce Lee ripped some of his chest out, didn't he? When that thing. That was him.
Oh, I don't remember. That's how you tell the time, isn't it?
That's what you take chest hair and blow it into the wind. Oh,
yeah, it's like
7:35.
It's that and dandelions, I think.
But under the chin. No, that's buttercups, isn't it? I
If you hold Chuck Norris's chest hair under your chin, it actually tells you the plot of all of his films.
I think I've got Chuck Norris's chest hair under my chin.
Oh, there you go.
I've got a poster on the wall that's for Big Trouble in Little China, and it's a really colourful poster. And she said, "Oh, that looks good." And I thought, "Oh, I'll put that on for her." I think she's gonna, if she's sold by the poster. It's quite adult, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there's those men that are like electric in it.
Yeah, and I'm thinking old guy scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
I got that on video for Christmas once. I was far too young to have got that, and I didn't realise for years that it was like a comedy. I didn't know. Like, I was just terrified by it and amazed by it, but I had no realisation that it was light-hearted for years.
But that shaped you, didn't it? Watching films like that at that age, and I'm thinking the same thing. It's either going to go one or two ways. She's either going to be fucked up or become interesting when she gets.
How often do you think about him trying to chop a bottle in half with a cleaver?
All the time.
Yeah. Every time I have a beer, every single time I have a bottle of beer, I think.
Yeah. You've got to do it with the label up, haven't you? You imagine you get that bit of friction there. Label up, catch the label first.
Is it possible, is it?
I don't know. I might have a look at a video afterwards. Never thought to look. But yeah, I do think about it already. So. Right, let's move on to your next one. I'm sure you've probably got to get back to your family at some point.
I mean, I'm not going to. Let's be honest, they're already asleep.
This is your number 3.
Number 3, I am free.
No, it's not. Hold on. Right, there you go. There, meal plan. Number 3, meal plan. You said you're a vegan, didn't you? So I imagine there's a lot of...
Yeah, I had to mention it. As you know, that is the rules.
I did know. I think I heard you say it on your stream, actually.
You have to say it when you're a vegan. It has to be... We have to contractually say it every 38 seconds.
You'd have to say it like, I'm a vegan. Like that.
Yeah, you do. I hate it. I really... Again, it's the same as football for me. I'm a vegan, but I couldn't give a shit what anyone else does. I hate it when people are like I'm going to say forcing it down your throat, but I know, I do what you want, and I couldn't care less.
I mean,
I
respect you. If I could do it, I would. I just have no willpower whatsoever. I don't think...
It's not... But for me, I can't not do it, because... And without going too deep, we spoke about deathbeds earlier, but I think, just as I'm about to take that big hit of heroin, the only person you've ever got to answer to is you, isn't it? Like, ultimately, at the end, you're the one you've got to answer to yourself.
I'm about Christian here. You don't know.
Yeah, but even if you are, because that's not real.
I've got a huge Christian crowd here. Ignore Ash. This is the opinion of the guest. This is not the opinion of the streamer.
If anything, Buddhists are right, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because you do just carry on. Every atom that's ever made you existed before and will exist after. They go nowhere. But you're
line to altered states. That.
But so I think you've got to answer to yourself. That's my belief, is that you've got to answer to yourself, and I can't justify something dying on my behalf. So that willpower doesn't come into it. I'm massively fat. I've got no willpower whatsoever.
You're not massively fat. Ash. You're not massively fat. I've seen you stand up.
You haven't seen me stand up. I can't. I'm too fat to stand up. No, okay, right. I'm not massively fat, but I'm overweight, right? For and again, I couldn't give a shit if anyone's overweight. You do what you like. I don't care. I'm not judging anyone. But personally, I'm not where I'd want to be. So I've got no willpower whatsoever. It's like, I really wish I was a little bit lighter, but I will eat a whole bag of family share Skittles in one sitting. Just pour it down my throat.
Are they vegan?
But yeah, they're vegan. Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? But so for me, I can't eat meat or animal product because I can't justify it to myself, and the only person I've got to justify it to is myself. So it doesn't take any willpower. It'd be like saying don't murder, like don't go into my neighbour's house and do a shit on the floor. I just can't do that. So
just
I won't.
A big old softy you are, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm pathetic though. I genuinely am pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. I don't know how on earth I can be a stand-up comedian. I've got no idea how I can pluck up both the energy and the audacity to be arrogant enough to think that I can go on stage and be funny. Because inside, constantly, it's just a case of going, "What are you doing, you moron?" So yeah, I don't understand it. But then, so meal plan. Every Saturday we do a meal plan because my wife does the shopping on a Sunday. She orders it to be delivered on a Sunday. And every Saturday she goes, right, talk to me about dinners for this week. And I can't do it. I find it so difficult.
So do I, yeah.
Go, oh well, we'll have one of the three things that because I hate cooking as well. Really, I can't stand it. I waste so much of my time. But to me, cooking is the biggest waste of time.
Oh, you enjoy it.
Yeah, but again, I'm not judging you, but I just...
How dare you?
I like listening to podcasts when I'm in the kitchen. So I like washing up because that's time to stand and listen to a podcast.
For example, today when I was cooking, I was watching you on Digitizer on my phone.
Which one was it you were watching, out of curiosity? Was it the games one?
Actually, there was... you mentioning condoms earlier. There was the condom for the knife. For the camping knife.
That one. Yeah. That was a real one, was it?
That was
Yeah, it's bizarre. But yeah, cooking, I'd only eat beans on toast. Like when I was single and I lived... I've been single for 2 big portions of my life. So when I first got my flat, I was single, and all I ate was pasta with salad cream. That'd be it. Like I would get in from work, I would boil up too much pasta, squirt salad cream on it, stir it up, eat it. That was dinner. Then when I was single, when my son was about 3 or 4, because I've always had him half the time, so like literally, and now it's like week on, week off, but before it was like I'd have him half the week and then his mum would have him half the week. So when he was there, I'd cook a decent meal, but when he wasn't there, it would be just some toast or whatever. And now because I do stand-up, I don't like to eat before I do a gig. I don't know why, I don't like that feeling of being full and content. No. So I will always eat afterwards, which is terrible for you. But it's always beans on toast. I'll get in at like midnight, 1 o'clock and go, beans on toast. Like there's no chance I'm ever going, and now I'm going to get that recipe book out, pull all those ingredients out, put them in little dishes and rustle myself something up.
What, tapas? You're going to have tapas at 1 in the morning? No,
you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
a cup of, a sprig of
beans on
sage.
toast is quite good for you, though, isn't it?
No, it doesn't appear to be, no. I'm sorry to break it to you,
Well,
but
I like
no.
to convince myself, but you feel like you can trick your body, don't you, sometimes? You think, well, it's got to be healthy. If it's on the Atkins, doner kebab meats are on the Atkins. I can eat
But
them
so much bread, eh? So much bread.
I do normally cut bread out. But
I need to. I
shit ton
want
of
to
pasta.
stop. I'd love to stop eating bread.
I can do it, I reckon.
Yeah?
Especially because my mother hasn't got a fucking toaster.
What?
Yeah, I know, it's a tiny... She's got a slow cooker, a coffee machine. She says she's got no space on the counter for a toaster. She's got a coffee machine, a bloody cake mixer on the side. I said, you haven't got room for a tiny toaster? She says, do it in the grill. It works fine. And I've burnt that toast every single time.
Do you remember the grills that used to be up high?
Yeah.
That used to have a grill up there?
Yeah, I used to have one of those.
The
Saw it
kids
on-
don't know they're born.
It was on Twitter
I'm
the
at-
other day, actually. I saw that.
I imagine Ashens has got one of those even now.
Yeah, but he stores Nintendo games in there or something.
Yeah, that's probably true, yeah.
Yeah, like Crother says there, Dan, King of Midnight Kebabs. No more, Crother. Normally after this stream on a Thursday, because I'm so hyped up or whatever, because it's gone so well, I'll get a fucking kebab at 1 o'clock in the morning.
What, delivered or will you pop out to get it?
I'm not going to go out. No, delivered. Yeah. No
I
more.
don't know, where are you based? I can't. Where
I'm
is
in,
Rochester?
It's in Kent.
Oh, is it? Oh, I could probably see you from here then.
Where are you?
I'm in Southend.
That's Essex.
Yeah, but it's just I live on the sea, so like literally, not literally. That's the wrong use of that. But like Sheerness is 2 miles away. I could see
Kent's a
Sheerness.
big place.
No, it's not. You do know Chris?
Bloody Garden of... Yeah, I do know Chris.
Chris, he's from Kent.
Bloody Garden of England, isn't it? It's a good
Yes. Essex is the front garden of England, and there's like an old washing machine and a sofa with some cat shit on it.
Well, I did live in Essex until I moved here about 5 months ago. Southend was always our day out. So Southend. Is it?
Whereabouts in Essex did you live? None of my business, but
Dagenham.
Dagenham. Oh, that I once banned my entire family from going to Dagenham
Yeah, I don't blame you.
because a man was very aggressive to me in Dagenham. He took his belt off to beat me up with it. It was very strange.
Probably my dad.
He had a big buckle on it, and I think he wanted to take my phone, and he took his belt off, and I was like, "Why are you taking your belt off? What's happening? I don't know what's happening." Awful place.
It's a horrible place, Dagenham. I'm glad to get out of it. Yeah, so I used to be... Southend was about an hour away, or less than an hour away. I used to go all the time. But it was gradually
still
becoming
is.
a dump. Is it still a dump, or is it all right now?
Beautiful. It's a city now.
Is it?
Yeah, we got our MP killed, so we got its city status.
Is it better? I've not been there a long time.
That's all it took. Literally all it takes. And now we can do anything. We're a city. Like literally, you name it, we can do it.
Well,
Everything's
city has
changed.
to have a cathedral, doesn't it?
Not anymore. You just got to have dead MP. That's all it takes.
Oh, see, look, right, Rochester's tiny. It's the smallest city in the country because it's got a cathedral, so it's classed as a city. Now they're going to take that away from us, are they? I think they're trying to make this a village or whatever the fuck. What's
gonna-
down from city? Town?
Town, yeah. But yeah, Southend now. They've basically there's signs up that says Southend is now a city. Do whatever the fuck you want.
Is Peter Pan Pleasure Beach? Is that what it's called?
Peter Pan, the Pleasure Beach. Yeah, he's
Still
still down. He's still down there. Yeah, the radio station that me and Matt worked on was owned by not Peter Pan, but the man who owns Peter Pan's. And it's on that same site. I'm not gonna. You know what? I might work there again one day. It's great.
Sarah V. Phillips is from Dagenham. How's Dagenham tonight, Sarah?
Don't look out. Whatever you do, don't open the window. Look out.
Right, let's go on to your number 2. Can you remember what it is?
Yeah.
You do? I do. Alright, this is Ash's number 2. Personal goals.
Yeah. So this is different from bucket list. This is
you do these while you're alive, or while you think you're going to be alive.
I think that's key. I think like short-term goals is what I really mean by this. And that comes down to that sort of incorporates the lists, that incorporates the mental well-being, meditation, and small achievable goals. So, even I watch you doing this and I'm in awe of everything. Like, you're pressing buttons and things are changing, and I saw when I was watching before I came on, I could see like your subscribers and stuff. I want to be able to understand your logo, which is brilliant. I want to learn how to do these things.
It's a gradual thing, though.
And I managed to get emotes last night. I sat up until about 1 o'clock after I did the stream, and I've got because when I got a new follower yesterday, and the little zombie walked across, I was like, I don't want it to be a zombie. So I then sat up until 1 o'clock in the morning, doing bodging around so it's something else.
What's your doing? And what are your emotes then? I'm trying to advertise your stream, but you get these emotes if you subscribe to Ash. What are the?
Oh yeah, there's one at the moment. So the first one is I've famously got a picture of me with a long arm.
Yes.
So that's my Edinburgh show poster was basically a friend of mine called it's Tapeface. I don't know if you heard of Tapeface, the comedian. The name. So he is a good friend of mine, and his designer that does all his design is a good friend of mine as well. So he said to me, why don't you get Dave Young is his name, to do your Edinburgh poster? I'm sure he'll do you a decent deal. And he was like, what do you want? What do you want it to be? And my idea for an Edinburgh poster was just going to be basically like it hadn't been done properly. So just like insert picture here, insert show title here. And then he was like, let's just get a really cheesy picture of you and put it on there, like it's stuck on with like Pritt stick or whatever. And then I sent the first copy over to Sam, who's Tapeface, and he then just went on Photoshop for a laugh and just extended my arm. And when he sent it back, sent it to me, I was like, that's brilliant. I love it. It's just so weird. And so many people were like, I looked at that picture and I was like, there's something wrong with it, but they didn't instantly think what it was.
That's your Twitter profile, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the Twitter profile. I love it. I genuinely think it's great. And then when I started doing the streams with Ashens, he did this animation where in the stream starting soon, it's me and my arm gradually grows over the course of the 10 minutes that you're waiting, just gradually gets longer and longer and longer. And I love it so much. And then the other day, Stuart sent me, well, first of all, I set up an emote of that picture of me with my long arm.
Yeah.
And then the other day, Stuart, God bless him. He has done this entire animation for a stream starting soon for me that is far too much. He's put so much effort in. It's absolutely brilliant.
Like I said to you, he did mention that he's putting far too much effort into this thing.
Yeah, because he messaged me at 3 o'clock and went, I've just done this, I've been working on it. Sent it over to me. And then he went, actually, something wrong with that. Bear with me. And about 2 hours later, he sent it back and went, that wasn't as much work as I thought it was going to be. I was like, you've spent 2 hours on it.
Is that is that going to be your new intro?
That's going to be the intro. Yeah, that'll be the intro, and it's just brilliant. And then it's the arm extending again. I can't remember how I got to that from goals.
I just asked what your emotes were.
Oh yeah. So there you go. That's my emotes. But yeah, so goals would be I will literally set a goal. I wanted to get onto Twitch, and this thing that I've been wanting to do, I've been talking about it for about a year. This film idea, and now I'm doing it. It's happening. My mate he's a software designer. He's designing this thing. And so I want it to be... My son streams and knows how to use the Stream Deck and knows how to do all this stuff. And I wanted a good microphone. Now, this pod booth that I'm in now is soundproofed, and it's got everything. It's got 2 monitors and lighting and all that. And so it's these little tiny things. And it just makes, again, it's like having a to-do list. If you could just achieve some goals... It's all we've got, isn't it? They're the only things in life that really mean anything, is to go... It could be about anything. It's I'm crap at swimming, and, I'm not terrified of swimming, but I'm so crap at swimming. And I just...
One long arm, you're probably going in circles.
Yeah, I was going massively in circles. But then I've been taking my daughter swimming, because my wife was too pregnant to take her, basically. And it's that feels like I've achieved something, because I would just go, oh, I won't go swimming because I'll be the one trying to stay above water while she's swimming. If you can tick off goals, whatever they are, then there's just like a little endorphin hit, or a little. It's very much like the to-do list. Now I think about it, but they could be anything. It could be anything.
Slightly bigger, I suppose. You know what? You've encouraged me or inspired me to go through with that. I'm going to get a new whiteboard. I was going to do it anyway. I'm going to write things on there. And what the goals do tend to be things for this bloody stream. A lot of work does go into if you're going to do all this kind of thing.
It does annoy me though, saying all that. It does annoy me. Like, there's certain things I want to do in comedy. Like, I love what I do. And I always think back to, I just wanted to be a stand-up comedian. Like, nothing else about it. I just wanted to be a stand-up. That was my, it was like, I don't want to be an actor. I don't want to be a comedic anything. And then I am in the Ashens movie, which was brilliant. But yeah, so that was my goal, was just be a stand-up. And then I was on Radio X, which is, everyone knows what Radio X is probably. And I was on, it was, yeah. And I was on this show, and I went to lunch with the presenter, who I knew is a stand-up called Tom Crane. And he said to me, he goes, so, like, do you want to get into writing? And I went, no, Tom, no, I just want to be a stand-up. That's all I've ever wanted. I don't want any of the peripheral stuff. Just want to be a stand-up. He went, oh, okay. He now writes everything. And I was like, he was probably saying, do you want to hop on this thing that we're doing? He writes The Last Leg and like sitcoms and all sorts. And I just thought he was probably saying, we're looking for someone, staff writer on this thing. And I just went, nah. So that's
too late though, is it?
No, it's not. But I mean, it's frustrating because like that's what I was going to say. When I see people who are like, oh my god, this is my goal. Like, I had this wish list of things I wanted to do, and now I've achieved them all. And then sometimes I look at what I would say goals, and I'll just go, I can't see any path for that. So that's the negative thing. You've got to make little achievable goals. You do. I think you should have dreams and aspirations, things you aspire to, but you have to have some that you can tick off, because I've got some. Most of mine are pretty. Like, there's a few podcasts that I'd love to be on, but I just don't know if they're ever going to happen. Like, I always wanted to be on Pappy's podcast on Flatshare Slamdown. I don't know if you know Pappy's, but I love them. And then I gigged with them, and one of the guys, 3 guys, went, "Oh, we'll get you on." And I said, "Look, you can't say that unless you genuinely mean it." It's like, yeah, we'll get you on. And now all they have on is mega celebrity comedians. Like, because they've done so well, they're never coming for me. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I was that close, and then that was snatched away. And that's never going to happen now, I don't think.
You know what, I think you wanted to be a stand-up. You wanted to. What was your other aspiration? You wanted to.
Radio show and something.
I think you're being a bit greedy now.
I know, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Because I've sort of achieved everything on a minor level.
I was thinking, I don't think I wanted to be anything when I was a kid. I can't think of any aspirations I had. Terrible. That's what a life in Dagenham is, I suppose.
My strangest thing was my parents were had such an easy, good upbringing. Like, there was no trauma or tragedy or horror. But they were so laid back. Like, they never said to me, "What do you want to do?" Or what's going on at school, or like, what are you studying? Like, there was none of that, but not in a neglectful way, but just just be happy and just do it. Like, I remember sort of saying to my parents, like, when I was at college, I'm going to dye my hair purple, and them going, oh, okay, and my mum saying, oh, do you want me to put some stuff do you want me to put it in the shopping, pick up on Friday? And me going, no, that's not what I want. That's not rebellion.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I did. I had purple hair, I had blue hair, I had all sorts. And then I went and got a job in banking in London. I worked for stockbrokers.
I can see you as a stockbroker. Very clean cut, very clean cut you are.
I hated it so much. It destroyed my being. But I would go, right, because I hate the job so much, one day I wore all black shirt, tie, suit, and dyed my hair dark black just to show how unhappy I was. Like they gave a shit, you know what I mean? Just like, of course they didn't care. But I thought I was being so rebellious, and now I've got purple hair. And what are you going to do about it? They didn't do anything about it because no one gave a shit. I never had that moment of, where rebellion lands and you go, yeah, look at me. Because I never did anything. I didn't take drugs or dick about or, drink.
You look like you were in the mafia if you're all in black with black hair. With that
yeah, I probably did. Yeah, I probably did. I was an idiot.
Do you have any short-term life goals going on right now apart from the Twitch? I'm trying to think if I've got any. You know what? Going to do that digitize on Friday is probably one of the best things that's happened.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Although it's a relatively small thing, but it feels quite.
No, but I don't think it is because I don't think those are the things like Ashens, the Cheap Show Boys, Digitizer. These are things that, and I've said it to both the Pauls and to Stuart. They get me in a way it's full of heart. And that's why I love Pappy's as well. And Tapeface. It's so full of heart and the passion from them. I can watch them guys and listen to the guys all day and love it because just seeing people doing something creative that they're putting their heart and soul into, and I don't mean that to be wanky, I just mean genuinely watching someone do it. And I see it with comedians and comedy. Even if I don't find a comedian funny, to see someone who cares and they're doing something, I'll see some really abstract comedy and go, I don't get it, but by God I love it because of how much they've put into it. And it just happens I do find those guys funny and hilarious, and I love it. When I go and do Digitizer, I come away like doing the Ashens film. To me, felt exactly like if you'd said to me I'd done a Hollywood blockbuster and I was getting paid hundreds of thousands. There was no difference for me between the two things. You were really
good in it, by the way.
Well, that's very kind. It was all the direction. I loved it. I genuinely. And Jared Christmas, who was in it, is I'll say friend. We gig together fairly often, and so I know him quite well.
The hole in him.
No, Jared's the guy who ends up trying to sleep with Ashens' sister.
Right.
The New Zealand guy with the beard.
Oh yeah, he's good as well. Yeah.
The guy with the hole in him. I don't know his actual name. I can't remember his actual name. But he was brilliant. We had a great time doing it. And there was a scene that had to be cut out due to time, but where he was going to stand up and you were going to see through him. But I love the way it pans into the hole in his chest. Yeah. But you might not remember the scene, but as it pans into the hole, you can just see the floor, and that's how the cut happens in his sort of gut.
I've seen it twice now. It's a shame I didn't bloody see you at All Bar One. I was sitting at the bloody table.
I was there. That's again one of my proudest things because they were checking people's ID on the way in, and I went with my son, who I say is 14. And she checked the guy in front of us and then looked at my son, and we just walked in. And we got in and I was like, it's the proudest I've ever been of you.
Has he got a beard or anything?
No, but he's a full man. He is a full man. Actually, the proudest I've ever been of him, we went to Insomnia Gaming Festival, and he was in this big arena playing Mario Kart. Like, they just picked people at random from the audience. And there was this kid that was being really cocky on stage, and then my boy beat him across the line in the last race of Mario Kart to win this championship. And I was in this. I had to walk out of the arena. There's probably 300 people in there, and because they were kids, I was like, I can't. I was going to do that thing I don't do at football and just go, yes, in your face, you little shit, to this really cocky kid. He was really cocky, celebrating before he'd won as my son flew over the top of him. And I just had to walk out of the arena. I was like, I can't be that twat that he's celebrating like that. So I just had to wait for him outside and then just tell him how proud I was.
Yeah. Well, I got those moments to look forward to, I suppose.
Yeah. Maybe. You definitely do. Yeah, but there's so many things. Like I say, there'd be a million different tiny things. Like when my daughter told my wife to chill out, I was like, there we go. There's a little bit.
My daughter's a bit too stroppy, to be honest, at the minute. Right, should we go to your number one?
Got to, haven't we?
Yeah, it's very amped. What was the one that we'll find out what the other one was that you didn't add to the list afterwards. This is Ash's favoritist list.
Definitely.
Number 1. I am number 1. I am the Alpha and the Omega. I am your God. I'll kneel before NC1184, the organism known as human is outdated, irrelevant, obsolete, expired, dead.
Christmas list. I'm assuming it's not a list that goes to fictional Santa.
No, it'll be... I love a Christmas list. I don't hate Christmas. I've really got to stop being such a dick. I don't hate Christmas. I love Christmas. I love getting stuff. I love presents.
Yeah, I'm not bothered about the getting stuff. That's very different.
I'm only joking. Because I buy it. It's so difficult, isn't it? Because I'm 42 and, like, humble brag, but I can afford everything I want.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of things that that I want to buy, but I don't need anything. There's nothing I really want that thing, but I'll have to wait till Christmas because I can buy it. I'm lucky enough to be able to.
There was a few things that people asked me what I wanted for Christmas months ago, and I said I'll have this, and then just bought it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's exactly the problem. I will do exactly that. If I think of the thing I want in June for Christmas, there's no way I'm making it to December before I buy it.
I want it now.
The only thing is, I've wanted a GoPro probably since June, and I'm not getting that for Christmas, but I will buy one of those after Christmas.
Why
you know
not
what I mean?
getting it for Christmas? Did you
Because
ask Santa?
they're £400, aren't they? And I don't think I'm getting a £400 Christmas present because I'm 42. I don't think that's on the cards.
Just make it your one biggie.
I don't think if we get to the point where we're buying each other £400 gifts as our one big present, I think something's gone very right. Is what I would think.
One year we bought a PS4 between us. I don't think she really wanted it. It was quite a big sacrifice on her part. But yeah, we got that.
I love that. Yeah, I bought a PS5 last Christmas, but we didn't get it until like February because you couldn't get them, could you? So
you bought it for yourself for Christmas?
Well, I bought it for me and the boy.
The boy.
Me and the boy. And so he got one here, and then they were impossible to get hold of, weren't they?
I was
So then
it, but yeah.
his mum, then shortly after Christmas, went into Smith's. Like, she's naive, to be fair to her. And she just went, "Oh, excuse me, have you got any PlayStation 5s? And the man went, "No. Of course, no one's got any in the world anywhere." She went, "Oh, okay, well, sorry, I thought you'd sell them."
And
she's
an arsehole about it. You just laugh at all of them going to count them.
But she's a nurse, right? She was wearing a nurse's uniform. And she carried on walking around Smith's. And about 2 minutes later, the guy came up to her and went, "Excuse me, I couldn't say anything at the counter, but we do have a PlayStation 5. And are you a nurse?" And she went, "Yeah, I'm a nurse." And he went, "We'd like to sell it to you if you want it." So they sold her this PS5. They went, "You can't tell anyone." And so they sold her the PS5. And she phoned me up and was like, "I've got the boy a PS5. I was like, "How?" She went, "I just went in and asked." I was like, "What do you mean?" And it's that kind of thing that gives these people too much of a false idea about how easy these things are. I was there constantly refreshing for like 4 hours on my phone. She'd just gone unasked.
I went and asked Stuart if he knows if I can get one anywhere, and if he can't bloody find one, what chance do I stand, you know?
Well, when they first come out, I do have to say, I think Stuart maybe said, "Do you want one?"
Did he just give it to you?
No, I'd got mine, but I think he had someone in the know, and Sue was like,
"Oh, you didn't have anyone in the know when I bloody asked him."
This was like when it first came out. I don't know when your interaction with him was,
a couple of months ago.
But yeah, and then I've got this mate, Si, who, he's still searching. It's been out a year now, isn't it? People still haven't got them. It's bizarre that can still be a thing.
Just give up, and then by the time they've got them in the shelves again, you won't be interested. That's the way it's going to
go. We've decided this year, me and my wife, that we're not doing any presents. Like we're gonna, the children are buying us gifts, Earlier on, when I said about the iPad, that wasn't just a bit of stand-up that I do about saying I've realised I'm my daughter's favourite. Because on my birthday I got an iPad, but today's my wife's birthday. My daughter's bought her fuck all, because obviously it's me that hasn't bought her anything. That's just a bit of stand-up that I do at the moment. It goes quite well.
Was that a tweet or was that on this stream?
I'd said it beforehand on the comments. I don't
yes, of course you did.
You don't remember.
I do remember. I remember. I thought it was a tweet because I saw it in text format. So
I probably tweeted it as well. But so we're not buying, but our children will buy us a present because I don't need anything, and then I'll get in. I'll have enough money, and I'll buy a GoPro because I want to film some stand up with it. Because I've not got much stand up online because I take down anything that's up there that isn't very good quality, both in material and in video quality. I don't really want it up there, and because the material gets burned. So I just want to record. I think me and Justin Panks, my comedy partner, we do a podcast together. I think we're going to record 2 specials, like back to back. We'll both go and do a show, record them, and then put them out ourselves. So it'd be nice to have a sort of 4K version of that, I think.
Yeah, I treated myself to an Oculus Quest 2 because I figured it's exercise, isn't it?
Oh yes, very much so. Yeah.
Calorie count. I think I did 51 calories on it today.
Oh really? Does it count the calories as you do it?
Yeah, but I don't know how accurate that is. And 51 calories is nothing. It's a fucking biscuit.
No. It's a pre-dunked biscuit. Yeah.
It's not a pre-dunked. It's a regular biscuit. Ash. Pre-dunked a lot more calories.
We got the PlayStation VR, and it makes me sick. That's the problem.
It's because it's too heavy. I've got it as well, but it's so heavy on your head it makes your head hot.
Star Wars game makes me want to throw up within 30 seconds of playing it. I love the game so much, but if I play it for 20 minutes, I'm done for a day of feeling queasy.
You need games where you just go forward, or you can actually turn your head yourself. If you're turning it with the stick, that's when you start to.
Have you? That's true. Yeah, that is true. Have you played Super Hot? That game, I love that game.
No, I was talking to Stuart the other day. He said he was playing that. I'm playing Pistol Whip. It makes you feel like you're John Wick when you're shooting everyone in time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, a bit like Beat Saber.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, Matt Adlington, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but he got an Oculus Quest, and his friend was showing him one because he wanted to buy one. His friend had one, put it on his head, and he said, "Watch this," and then he put pornography on it. I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, A, why are you doing that to your mate, and B, you can't sit there. Oh, I'm just going to really enjoy this and pop that on. You're still just in that room."
The thing with the Oculus Quest is the sound comes out of the headset, so everyone can hear it. That's why someone mentioned it to me on Discord, and I thought, I'm not going to I live in my mother's house. I'm not going to get away with that.
No, imagine that. It's
we could both be standing there with this thing on.
Yeah. You just don't. I mean, I think you want to. If anyone, it's up to whoever to do whatever. But I think surely the idea of that whole thing is to put yourself in this environment, like some weird fantasy type that you don't want to be actually there, disappointing everyone.
Well, I mean, not that I've seen any, but according to those videos, they're quite pleased.
Oh, well, they are.
I'm assuming.
And they're strangers as well, so you'd feel like they were really getting inside your family bubble, with all the lockdown restrictions. You'd be like, you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be here.
You shouldn't be here, yeah.
I don't know, I got to that from Christmas list. But yeah, what's on your Christmas list then?
Well, I got the Dark Souls board game, so I was going to just ask for the expansions for it, but I ended up buying 2 of them anyway, so there's only like 2 left.
Oh, really?
And my daughter's picking something. I don't know what she's picking. It's going to be horrible, probably.
No!
Yeah, but it's from her. It doesn't matter, does it? It's not about the presents at this age. It's about all the shit that she gets to open.
My daughter told me, I was taking her to the childminder the other morning, and she said, I know what I'm going to get you for Christmas. And I said, oh, don't tell me because it's a surprise. And she went, yeah, hammer beads.
What hammer beads?
They're the little beads that you put on little spikes, and then you iron them, and they form a thing.
Right, yeah.
You know those things?
Yeah.
I was like, she went hammer beads. I was like,
Oh, bless.
yeah, okay, yeah. This feels like it's a present for you, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Actually, she's probably bought something for herself.
But I like it. I'll play hammer beads with her, and that's the joy of it. Whereas my son, he'll get me maybe a Game Boy Color or something.
So that's all right.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's what I mean. Yeah, much better.
Is that what you asked for?
Not necessarily, but he's been modding these Game Boys recently. Like he's just doing, changing screens to IPS screens and all that kind of stuff. So I would quite like him to really super mod me a Game Boy and actually use it.
This generation amazes me. I wonder if we had Google at the time, we'd be able to do all this shit. But...
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, again, Ashens was brilliant, and the Retro Future, Elliot Cole. I don't know if you've ever watched any of his videos. He sent my boy a box just full of broken Nintendo bits via Stuart. And so we just got this massive box turn up, and it was just like broken Game Boys, Game Boy Color, shells, buttons, screens. And so my boy's just had this opportunity to be able to go, well, I'm just going to, it doesn't matter if he messes it up because he hasn't had to pay out they're still really expensive, but he can just muck around. But he hasn't messed anything up yet, but it's just been a really good opportunity.
Can I ask, did your son watch Ashens on YouTube?
Yeah, we went to the premiere together. We watched it on
did
the...
you watch him, because it tends to be a lot of young people watch. I hadn't seen Ashens before we started speaking, but I've caught up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of younger people have come to me and said, I'm so jealous, you know it. I'm like, it's not, it's cut out to people, Your son, I'm assuming he watched Ashens and was very excited to know that you were in touch with Ashens, was he?
Yeah, when I first did Bartians, like a few years ago, I got to go to the YouTube studio. They did it at YouTube, and my son knew he'd seen Paul and Eli before because he'd come with me on bits and bobs when I've done sort of external stuff with Cheap Show, and then he knew Ashens, and when he knew I was seeing both of them, and it was going to be at the YouTube studios, it blew his mind. It absolutely blew his mind. So yeah, but it's, I mean, that's the thing. I've taken him to gigs with like some of the best comedians in the country, and he couldn't give a shit. Like he might do now, but then he didn't care. Like I was doing a gig with Milton Jones. I don't know if you know Milton Jones. He's a one-liner comedian. And I said to my son, because he's clean, Milton Jones. Everything he does is clean. So I said to my boy, like, come along, watch me, or don't watch me, and then we can sit and watch Milton Jones. So we're sitting watching Milton Jones about 10 minutes in, and my boy goes, I'm going to go back to the green room. I went, oh, okay. Went back to the green room, and about 5 minutes later I went and checked him. He was on YouTube watching Milton Jones videos. He's there. He's literally there.
Thank you very much, the Wonder Spons, for the raid. Thank you very much.
Ashens just said, I regret being so rude to him.
And burning him. Did he burn him?
No, he never burnt him. He gave him pizza.
Does it mean burn as in like, all burn? That kind of
thing. Yeah, he might have done that, to be fair to him.
Stop talking like a teenager, Stuart. Right, you got anything else you'd like to say about Christmas lists?
No, nothing about Christmas lists, I don't think. But everyone, I hope you get what you deserve for Christmas.
Yeah, or just what you want.
Might be
better.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much for coming on, Ash.
I've absolutely loved it. I feel like I've really talked out. I need to get this off my chest. This has been very cathartic.
After watching you, I'm hoping, he does a lot of bloody talking. I'm just sweating.
This is so hot in this room. And I could open this window, but then I'm concerned that there'll be some boy racer screaming by as he...
I've got the window shut. The same thing out there. There's always, around this time of night, there's a boy on a fucking skateboard that goes down the road every night. Just...
Well, we've got, in this street, there's a bloke who has got a van just in earshot, and at 5 a.m. every morning he must open and close his van door 20 times. I'm very, very close to open the window and just go, sort this out the night before, mate. Like, what are you possibly loading in that you go, right, that's in, individually loading the van up with singular items and opening and closing the door. But yeah, that's the problem. If I stream and open the door, you never know. But yeah, this skateboard boy sounds... You want to get one of those stingers out that you slide across the...
Well, why? Just chuck a stick at him.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Perfect good idea.
Would you like to tell us what your stream's about a bit? And we'll give you one last push. I'm assuming
What
you're going to
else?
get some. You're going to bloody follow Ash, aren't you? Some of you. I know
You've
people
got
do
pleased
shout-outs and they don't do anything, but come on, we've had a 2 bloody hour interview here.
Exactly. I want you to follow me. I want you to follow me because at the moment I'm mainly doing Polybridge, which, like you said, is incredibly boring, but I love it. I love having that interaction with people.
He reads every comment. He reads every comment.
I do try and read every comment, unless I'm like when Ashens raided me the other day, and there was like 400 people, and I just didn't know. For about 10 minutes, I'm just sitting there going, but I just don't know how we're going to get across this bridge. But like I say, what's coming is going to be my random film club, which I think is going to be called I'd Watch That, because every time it comes up with a random title, you'd go, oh yeah, I'd watch that. And I think it's going to be brilliant. And you'll be a guest on it. I'm saying that now without you giving any consent. But I'm going to have guests on every time. I don't know how often it's going to be, maybe once a week. I'm going to have a guest on. You're going to see Ashens on there. You're going to see Sam Wills or Tapeface. Any comedians that I gig with, we'll get them on there. And I just think it'd be fun to talk shit about made-up films. Yeah. And that's where it's going. At the moment, it's just me I play a bit of Cannon Fodder, a bit of Lemmings, a bit of Polybridge. And there's going to be lots on there. And genuinely, like I say, I think if you like things that are just fun, there's not going to be anything deep or meaningful, sure. But if you like that kind of stuff...
Give it a year, there'll be plenty of deep and meaningful streams, trust me.
Yeah, and I'll just be going, why won't he sleep?
Yeah,
why won't he sleep?
Once a year, I think every streamer breaks down about something, at least.
Yeah. Well, the baby's coming.
Oh yeah, congratulations, by the way. I think I've said that to you in many formats, I think, by now. Can I just say that you lot, a lot of you watch Ashens, a lot of you watch Bite My Thumb, a lot of you watch mainly comedy streams. I do this in brackets because I've never been paid for anything like that, but you know, mainly like comedy streams. Well, you need more in your repertoire, don't you? Because I'm only on 3 times a week. Ash is on all the bloody time. He doesn't clash with anyone else, really.
No, I sometimes do with Ashens, but people say to me, "Oh, why do you stream at the same time as him?" And it's like, I don't think we're competing. I really don't. But I just do it at the moment when I can, and then there'll be more structure to it as and when
I think schedule is key to success in this thing. Definitely is. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. I've genuinely loved it, and I feel like I very catharted.
You catharted. That's a great word.
I think so.
Have you just made that up?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, we're going to use that.
With catharted. Well done, everyone.
Thank you very much.
I'll see you again soon. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Right, we're going to go on the title, and I'm going to hang up on you. It's going to seem rude, but it's just...
Yeah, that's fine. I'm used to it.
Thank you very much. Right, have a good evening.
And you... Well, I'm going to bed. See you later.
See you later. Let me get this title playing. Good night.
See ya.
Oh,